Sometimes, lost in the cheers is the nomadic lifestyle endured by those who campaign a monster truck on the PENDA Point Series, where the office is anywhere you set up a couple of sets of crushed cars. Fairgrounds and raceways become your neighborhood. And this is your idea of French food. But amidst the waft of elephant ears, what you really crave is victory. Because as a touring pro, the road may be your companion, but winning is still your best friend. This is Trucks and Tractor Power, featuring the best in MTRA monster truck racing. Today, it's the Monster Truck Thunder Drags from the Canfield Fairgrounds in Canfield, Ohio. This is race number 10 in the PENDA Point Series. The fairgrounds of the Midwest serve as home to state fairs, carnivals, and festivals. And it's against this backdrop that we present the PENDA Point Series. Hi, everybody. I'm Gary Lee, and welcome to Trucks and Tractor Power. The lure of the Midway is based on thrill and hope, two ingredients that we find in monster truck competition. The thrill? Well, the drivers amaze the fans and thrill themselves with the wildest 5-second ride in all of motorsports. And the hope is there, too. They hope to win the big one, the PENDA Point Series Championship. And now, with more on tonight's festivities, here's Army Armstrong.
Well, Gary, they're almost like carnies. They build a tent, they put it up, they tear it down, and they move on to another town. We're talking about the Monster Truck PENDA Point Series, and we're looking kind of like looking down a Midway when a carnival comes to your hometown. We got the Bear alive in the second round. Samson's coming back. He's a strong man. Of course, the old Bigfoot boys, Sasquatch, they're staying strong in this game along with the Snake Man. So all I can say about round 2 is hurry, hurry, hurry. Come to the Midway. We're going second round racing right now.
But first, let's bring you up to date on the PENDA Point Series coming into this event. Team Sasquatch, followed by the Snake Charmer, the Dancing Bear, and the Strongman in that order. Now, talk about a wild ride. This is Don Van Loo tossing what's left of his transmission, and we'll show you how he shells it out. This was from qualifying earlier. This is Don Van Loo in Magnum Force.
Keep an eye at him in a no man's land. The transmission just explodes. They're making so much horsepower. The safety blanket contained most of the shrapnel, but Van Loo really took a ride. He was literally sitting on an A-bomb there for a second.
So he becomes an early spectator here in Canfield. Now, also a tough time for Pam Botters in round 1. Watch this hard landing for the Boogie Van.
Pam Botters, one of the young up-and-coming drivers on the circuit, just needs one very important thing that all racers need, a break. But SHAFER's not going to give it to her.
Yeah, and from rough landings to tight calls with the Magnum Force out, Fred SHAFER caught a single, but watch how close he comes to the far side barriers.
Yeah, but we're not playing hand grenades, so close doesn't count. He goes to the next round.
Well, the hottest time so far turned in by Dan Runte, a blistering 498 to Gary Porter's 506.
Dan Runte definitely holding a high ground in this competition. He and that 460 cubic inch Ford Allen Root horsepower are showing away tonight.
Well, that 498 will be a tough hurdle for anyone to pass this evening. We're coming back with more from Canfield. Welcome back to the Canfield Fairgrounds here in Canfield, Ohio, and the PENDA Thunder Drags. We're ready now for round 2 action as we take a look. Bigfoot against the Monster Patrol, Snakebite and Samson, and Barefoot the Dodge against the Power Wheels Bigfoot.
Gary, what we're looking at right now is the mean green of Paul SHAFER. This salvage yard operator came into the sport about 2 years ago after dominating the sport of professional mud racing, wanted to try his hand at monsters, and believe me, he's got a hold of a snake of his own kind right now. Well, look who's in that other lane.
Andy Brass, Bigfoot, and here is Andy's bye run earlier. He was the fast qualifier, but he dropped off from a 499 to a 508 in that bye run. Both coming in the same lane, and right now he's in that far lane from our camera position there.
From a dead stop, 250 feet over 2 obstacles, jumping 20 feet in the air in less than 5 seconds. Oh, just another day at the office or on the Midway in
a 10,000-pound truck.
There you go. We are having fun now. Ford Chevrolet, let's see who's going to be, Gary.
Round 2 is now underway. It's going to be all Ford. No contest as Andy Brass takes the victory in Bigfoot, a 503. So a tad quicker than that bye run, not as fast as he qualified. There's Paul SHAFER's 555.
555 is a good number, but not good enough tonight. We've got one Ford takes a win. We got another Ford going to the line now. Who's he go against?
Well, Snakebite going up against Samson. Samson, the Chevrolet. That would be Dan Patrick, and there is Colt COBRA in the snakebite Ford. Speaking of Ford, Army down with Jim KRAMER, the crew chief for Bigfoot.
Jim, I understand Andy's going to stay in the truck. They're really hot lapping them, running them real quick behind each other. So we're going to ask you, what does it look like first round or second round now?
Well, you know, we've been working with Andy's truck quite a bit, and we're really starting to lean on her tonight. We've been leaning on a couple other trucks here, and we're starting to really lean on this one. It looks like, yeah, the time's been coming down so drastically tonight. The air's better, the track's getting better, the guys getting more used to these ramps, and some fast times coming in. I look for him to get faster. I have to look for him to get faster, all right? He's going to have to, matter of fact. But things are going to turn around for us. We're going to make that blue truck run.
Back out of action with the Dan Patrick in Sampson. He took out Mark Hall in the executioner in round 1, and Colt Cobra took out Ray Porkowski in round 1.
Well, Patrick has already taken a win for Chevrolet this year on the PENDA Point Series. Matter of fact, the only win that wasn't won by Ford. But the rumor mill has him maybe teaming up with the Jasper engine people out of Jasper, Indiana. They're engine remanufacturing, and they make a whole bunch of horsepower. So he's not going to be afraid to pull up next to that Allen Root Ford horsepower in the far lane. He's got the Jasper horsepower under that Chevrolet hood. Let's kind of keep an eye on that, Gary.
Of course, that'll come sometime next season, likely.
Exactly, but right now,
all Ford.
Second place.
Snake bite, all Ford. Well, they say second place is just the first loser.
Yeah, second place is first place is next to last in this sport.
I think we discussed that a couple of shows back.
And you never did understand it.
No,
okay, the
I
replay
didn't.
comes up. The horsepower takes place right on the starting line. The snake bite truck just settles down and does what it's supposed to do. It just goes to the other end.
Well, of course, Patrick was right with him. There's the margin of victory. And there is a look at Fred SHAFER strapped in the cockpit of the big Dodge Barefoot. And behind him, you see the Bigfoot power wheels of Dan Runte. He was simply on fire in round 1, a 498.
He's got to be. He's set number 2 in the points. Andy Brass, excuse me, he's the leader in the points. Andy Brass is coming after him. These guys have got to stay focused. Now, let's get back to a horsepower story. SHAFER in the near lane, all kind of horsepower with this Dodge Hemi engine. The suspension's not working on the car. Meanwhile, they go back. You hear the name Allen Root again, making the Ford horsepower, so it's turned into a muscle game, if you will. No matter what happens, like rock and roll, on the other end of this track, you got to twist and shout. Who takes it, Gary?
Well, the Ford takes it, a close one, though, with the Dodge. We've seen the technology come a long way in suspensions. Now they want to hook up the horsepower. So now, as you indicated, you alluded to how they're trying to get more horsepower each passing season. So a quick one, a good one for Dan Runte in the Power Wheels Bigfoot. He turns in a 497. That's quicker than round 1. That would make Fred SHAFER the fast loser. Let's go down trackside and talk with Dan Runte.
Good number, 497. That's just fast.
We fell in the forest twice this time. The track's really looking good out there, Army. I don't know what else we can do to make it any faster. The truck, everything's working. The guys are just doing a tremendous job. I got to thank all them, and it's working. That's all I can say.
Off the final jump, the truck really, from my angle, looks like it's doing some weird stuff. That doesn't bother you at all?
It does. You know, that's something that you got to worry about a little later on down the track. The way the truck's coming down is the way we got the back shock set up. When we leave the second ramp, it is throwing the back of the truck. But like I said, that's the finish line. It's all over them.
Speaking of being all over, that concludes round 2 competition. And there's a look at snakebite. Colt Cobra, he could be the next victim for Dan Runte. Meanwhile, I want to go back and show you this run of Fred SHAFER, who was taken out by Runte. Now watch, something happens, a rough landing over the second set of cars. The front end collapses right here. There is no recoil, and something breaks in the front end. So he's still in competition. This could be a major problem. Let's go trackside and check with Army.
Gary, what we're looking at is a cross member in the very front of the Barefoot Dodge. Now, Fred SHAFER is talking about landing so hard that this is the kind of impact. It's literally ripping this metal apart. That is some tough metal to be doing that to. One of the problems we have, it's not part of the chassis, so he can run the truck. We understand he's going back in the staging lanes with it like this. He just doesn't have time to weld it back up. We've got a welder on scene. It's just not going to work. He's got to get back in the lanes. You got to remember, he's going headhunting for these Fords tonight. Back to you, Gary.
Well, Army, speaking of tough landings, that's something our tough truck competitors know all about, and this is a crowd pleaser. Ralph Lantanzio, his 1991 Ford, were winners of tonight's tough truck competition. Now, these are not pros. These are the amateurs with their, with their beaters. They drive these every day.
These are street trucks. Instead of monster trucks, these are mother's trucks that they drive on the street. You know, he's showing that old Ford will take a beating. take a licking and keep on ticking. Right, Gary?
All right, let's take a look at one of my favorites, Jim Ault from Indianapolis in the team pig out.
Watch the driver.
Hang on, no. Now, not only does he drive, but also his wife is a competitor in tough truck competition. Jim's wife is Barb. She drives this Jeep, also from Indianapolis. Let's watch her style now. I like her driving suit.
Yeah, actually, she told me she's a much better driver than he is.
Really?
Yeah.
He's a better chef, though, right?
Contact. There we go.
No bonus points for landing on top the tire. Look at the big smile. The pig out license plate. This is Kevin Harrell, another pig out teammate from Indianapolis.
Indy cars that got Penske, we got the pig out, guys and gals in this sport.
No, that's not going to work. That's John.
Tag. Well, that's okay, though. He made good contact with the that big tire.
No air. No air.
No points.
Hey, welcome back to the Canfield Fairgrounds, Canfield, Ohio. Gary Lee and Army Armstrong with you for Trucks and Tractor Power. From the toy shops of America to live action, it's Robosaurus, a transformer.
The difference between men and boys is the size of their toys.
Oh, man. This was a crowd pleaser as well all weekend here in Canfield. All the fire.
Yeah, all the little boys, their eyes lit up. It's kind of neat, you know. What it does, it gives the monster truck drivers a chance to take a break. But keep an eye on this.
Talk about carnival food. Kids love it. Now let's take a look at this car eating etiquette. That's your rental car.
Uh-oh.
Somebody stole the tires off of it.
Man, that's awesome. This is the first time I've seen this. That thing is literally tearing that car apart.
Yes, but he doesn't have the pinky extended, though.
You tell him that. I'm not.
It's pretty impressive, really.
Yeah, he's torn the roof off of that thing. That is awesome.
To the Robosaurus, that's baked Alaska.
Nah, Gary, I kind of think it's Charball Chippy.
Well, whatever it is, the fans seem to enjoy it as the competition continues. Bigfoot against Barefoot, the fast loser in the last round, Snakebite, and the Power Wheels Bigfoot. These are the semis. And look, hey, it's Fred SHAFER. They got the Barefoot fixed.
SHAFER's back in town. Basically what they do is just stick it together. These PENDA points are so important that every round counts. SHAFER knows it. I don't look for a 100% run. I don't know. Look who's in the other lane.
Yeah, but he needs the points, though. He's playing catch up to the Bigfoot trucks. And there is Andy Brass, the Bigfoot cruiser. He's been in a tight points battle with his teammate all season long for the PENDA Points Championship.
These PENDA points mean one thing, S with 2 lines to it. That's a
right,
dollar
money.
bill sign. That's right.
A lot of money at season's end.
Andy Brass has not done an interview with me all night long. He's staying focused. He's staying in the truck. He's sitting number 2 in the points. He knows he's kind of in a sandwich situation. The Dodge that we see right now is trying to catch him. Meanwhile, Andy in the blue Ford is trying to catch the other Bigfoot truck of Dan Runte.
Yeah, right now, this season has been a Bigfoot show. And there is Andy, the far lane. The Ford against the Dodge, Barefoot of Fred SHAFER. Fred playing catch-up, as we said earlier.
He's leaning on it.
Broken truck right now, but it's going to be Andy Brass.
Whoa.
Another hard landing. And there's Jim KRAMER and the crew, ecstatic for Andy Brass. As he said earlier, they're trying to improve this truck, to press the truck, and try to catch the teammate.
Yeah, they're leaning on the equipment now. We're 13 races in the season. We're at 10, and they got to lean on the equipment right now. Speaking of equipment, who comes up next?
Another Ford. That is Snakebite. Colt COBRA will be the next up, and he'll be taking on the other Bigfoot, the Power Wheels Bigfoot of Dan Runte. But first, let's go down trackside and visit with Army Armstrong and Andy Brass.
Andy, every time you go against Fred, it's just like a dogfight out there.
Yes, it is. You know, we've been watching a lot of the times tonight. So Fred's been turning in some pretty decent times, so we knew he was going to have to come off the light pretty good. Seemed to put in a pretty nice time. You know, I'd like to see a little faster because I'm watching the guys here in the finals. I know they're going to probably turn out a faster time and get lane choice on us. So we was hoping for a little bit better time than what we got, but we're happy with what we had.
It's unusual to hear Andy Brass talk like that. In seasons past, he has been the one they're all shooting for. The competition has closed up so much this season that now Andy Brass finds himself not on top of the standings, but second in the points. And right now we have a pair of Fords staging for the right to face Andy Brass for the championship here in Canfield. There's a look at his teammate, the Power Wheels Bigfoot, Dan Runte presently leading the point standings, and he pulls up alongside Snakebite and Colt Cobra.
Neither one will pull up next to the other guy. Right now, I've been keeping an eye on this. These guys are playing mind games with each other because previously when they met, as the winner will have to go against that truck, previously when these two trucks met, Snakebite literally psyched out Dan Runte. So they're playing mind games, and the games is you go first. No, you go first. No, you go first. No, I went first last time. No, you go first. We saw this a couple of
races back at Springfield, Missouri.
Yeah. Let's see who goes into the lights first. Meanwhile, where's Buster Couch when you need him? Because the starter, he's just standing looking down track. He needs to be pointing to the start line, getting these guys on the line. We're just about ready to go racing. Did the Snake psych Runte out this time? We're going to find out real quick. It looks like now they're both going in pretty clean.
All right, the right to face Andy Brass. Oh, it's all Dan Runte. No contest. That was not even close. Hey, and look at the time, Army. 496 ET. That is the quickest run ever in this competition for Runte to a 558 for Colt.
It took a world record to put the Snakebite on the trailer, but Runte now is the guy that moved to the high ground. Andy Brass, again, goes to the makeup, having to come from behind to beat Runte. He is just on a roll. When you're hot, you're hot.
So Runte has lane choice. He's happy. Let's go down trackside and talk to him, Army.
Well, Dan, we just received word. I understand your crew's already told you 496. That's the quickest ever in the sport to get past the Snake Man.
Yeah, that was I didn't really know that. No, I didn't, Army. I just found that out when you said that. That's impressive. Like I said, the truck's working. Ford's got us hooked to the ground. That's all I got to say about that.
They're going to be rubbing snake oil all over you tonight. That was an awesome run.
I got a feeling they might be chasing me around with a cooler. I don't know.
As hot as he is, that water would turn to steam if they dumped a cooler on him. Now keep in mind, 8 out of 10 final events this season have seen Dan Runte in competition. Oh man, he's been impressive. We're coming back. Stay with us. The Monster Truck Thunder Drags are part of the Special Events Performance Series, which offer a weekend of four-wheel fun. Visit the manufacturer's Midway or check out the Show and Shine competition. Contact the Special Events Promotion Company to find out when the Performance Series will be coming to your area. We are ready for an all Bigfoot final. There's Andy Brass in the Bigfoot Cruiser. He stages alongside the Power Wheels Bigfoot of Dan Runte. Runte has been so hot tonight, fastest run ever over a course this length. And earlier, Army had a chance to talk with both of our finalists.
It's going to be a tough one no matter how you look at it. We got lane choice again. That's going to help our side out a little bit. The truck's working well. I don't know what else to say.
Basically, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
That's about right. You know, it's dialed in and it's running hard, so we'll just see what happens.
The truck here has not been turning out the times that we would like to see this weekend. You know, it's just been a little bit slower than what we wanted, and I think we're going to have to check it out when we get back. But like I say, we got a chance to go out here and do something with it. You know, I'm going to give it all it's got and just hope we turn a little bit better times than what we have been.
Well, as you heard Dan Runte say, he has lane choice. That 496 turned in the last round, the quickest ever in this type of competition. That's pretty impressive for a 10,000-pound truck.
Oh, you're exactly right. And if there's a couple of things that these trucks have in common. Same size engine. Both of them have the Just Say No to Drugs decal on the back, and I think both drivers believe in the no fear philosophy of life, because you are going to see a double throwdown run here. No love lost. Andy Brass got the experience, trying to use his experience to make up a little horsepower he says he's down on. Runte, they've been able to shake him in the past. Is he going to cool down, keep a cool head, and go to the other end as a winner? We're going to find out. Remember, Runte, in the far lane, is your national points leader. Andy Brass has been there before. He knows what it's going to take to pull this kid in. Can he do it?
Once again, Andy Brass second in the point standings to his teammate Dan Runte as they stage for the championship here in Canfield, Ohio. Runte has been in 8 of the last 10 finals.
Good lead by both.
Oh, it's all Dan Runte. Dan Runte by almost a truck length, which is still an impressive victory. There's a 5-second run. He has been so consistent all leading. This will help to pad his points lead over Andy Brass. The top 3 are Fords, then it's a Dodge, and then a Chevrolet. Let's go down trackside and visit with our champion. Army?
Boy, I tell you what, it definitely takes a team to do this thing. Congratulations, Herb. I know you guys have been working real hard. A 5 flat, that's your slowest of the night, but that's still like a rocket.
Yeah, it was, Army. That was a little bit slower. We lost a little bit off the line there. It just didn't pull as hard. I think the line was going away there at the end.
I tell you, you go to the bank on Monday morning, they don't care about that line. They just want to make sure it checks good. Hey, we got a surprise for you. Hey, it's not like the NFL, but I tell you, the thrill is just the same. Back to you, Gary.
Well, that's about the only thing that could cool off Dan Runte. Well, I'll be looking at the moon, but I'll be seeing you on Trucks and Tractor Power next week. For Army Armstrong, I'm Gary Lee. Thanks for joining us. Our congratulations to Dan Runte on his championship. Now here's news of an exciting video release from Diamond B Sports.
Bring the excitement of mud monster truck racing into your living room with Diamond P's newest horsepower hit. Trust me, you're in there with this third strike. Shake, battle, and roll 3. It's all new and all you come to expect, from the outrageous mishaps of the monster truck racing to the raucous rampage through the mud bogs. Shake, battle, and roll 3 is a must for any and every monster truck fan in the house. Over 60 minutes of jarring and pounding, mud and mayhem, and accelerated aerobatics you don't want to miss. To get your copy of Shake, Battle, and Roll 3, call 1-800-438-8585 or send $19.95 check or money order plus $4 shipping and handling to the address shown on your screen, or charge it on your MasterCard, Visa, or Discovery card. Call 1-800-438-8585 for Shake, Battle, and Roll 3.